In my opinion, one of the most successful 17-year-olds in America.
That's one thing.
Destroy it all.
I want to play in the Champions League.
This man, that's a
Great goalkeeper. Why goalkeeper?
the strike. It's Maldonado.
16 USL Championship.
Yes, on the low.
If your story became a movie, what would the title be?
I'd say 33.
Canales takes the strike.
You know, you look like a very sweet kid, but being a goalkeeper, you have to be the most craziest one in goal.
Chances there. Beautiful turn. What a save. Off the line yet again.
Hey, Adil, welcome, brother. What's up, Phenomenal Family? Episode 2 is on the way. We have another youngster here. Hey, Adil, welcome, brother.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I want to introduce you to our audience right here, to people that are watching. So, Adil you're 17 right now? 17. And he's, I think, one of the most, you can, define success, you guys can tell me, but in my opinion, one of the most successful 17-year-olds in America that are playing soccer. He moved from Africa for about 4 or 5 years ago. 4 years ago. He moved from Africa. And then after that, you played in the youth level, and I put you into the ECNL regional level, maybe even a little bit even lower. Then after that, you put ECNL regional. You had the ECNL opportunity. You didn't take it. You trained a bit more, played a UPSL, then trained with a USL championship team at the age of 16, when they had a playoff run, a little bit of run, and it was so crazy. At the age of 16, USL championship. Before saying anything about yourself, before we forget to say anything, can you talk? How was that experience?
I mean, obviously,
By the way, I actually Googled. There's only 3 players in the USL Championship that was your age.
that's crazy.
And you know what's crazy? There's like more than 10 million registered soccer players in America.
I mean, we actually searched this up, I think, together. We were together when we
Yeah.
looked it up. I mean, it's like an experience I don't think anybody can have.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that I had it.
Grateful.
Very grateful that I've had it. Obviously, ECRL is where most of my age groups are. I didn't meet a lot of people my age in the UPSL team. But Loudon, that's a completely different story because, you get to experience pro players. You get to see how they train, what their day-to-day is like. And that's just, I'm truly grateful for having that experience.
Okay, we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Introduce yourself a little bit.
My name is Adil. I'm 17 years old. Like you said, I came from Africa. I think I lived in like 7 different countries, which is also a great experience. I'm a goalkeeper. I play soccer. And yeah, that's basically.
There you go. So first question, so let's do this for our audience. Because you have a very interesting story. Omar had an interesting story. You have a very interesting story. It's crazy how you guys had to fight through life a lot. And by the way, did you watch Omar's episode? You were here.
Right.
You were behind the camera, right? But like he also talked. You guys are very close friends. Older brother, younger brother relationship. Why goalkeeper? Because there was times where you were trying to go. Okay, should I play striker?
Yeah.
But you were a great goalkeeper. Why goalkeeper?
I mean, obviously, like you said, I wanted to be a striker at some point because goal scoring is, it's something.
It's fun.
It's fun.
They make more money.
But I think when I was when I was still a very young kid, I wasn't talented, and my dad was like, my dad also was a football player, so he was like, you know what? I still want him to be involved. Let me just put him in goal. And I think when I was like 4, I went in goal one time, and I really liked it. And then till now, I've just been going in goal.
You look like a very sweet kid, but being a goalkeeper, you have to be the most craziest one in goal.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's the second hardest. Being a soccer goalkeeper, football goalkeeper is second hardest position. Number 1 is, I think, in my opinion, ice hockey goalkeeper, because they have whatever, but that's not a topic. But so listen, I want to actually share a quick story about you. So your dad was living here. You were still living in South Africa, right? So I was here, with me doing all the soccer stuff, whatever. Your dad comes up to me, hey, man, I have this son, etc. Like, he's this. Here's a video of him, and I see him. I'm looking at you in the video. I'm like, this kid is horrible. I don't know what your father's trying to show me. This lean kid, and you came here, you developed a lot, and you took care of yourself. You have a phenomenal body. And, but yeah, so the next question I have is, you had a lot of times you were down. You had a lot of times, right? It's crazy because there was a couple times, probably in your career you got scored on more than 6, 7, 8 times, because all the guys you're going against are like former pros, current pros, etc. And what are some stories or some tips that you can, give to somebody that's, 15, 16, 14, even younger that are, watching, that anything you can say to them?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, as a goalkeeper, mistakes cost you a lot. One mistake could cost a goal. That could cost the game. So, as a goalkeeper, I think I had to learn the hard way. And as an ex-goalkeeper, I think you exactly know what I'm talking about. I personally don't think mistakes define you. I had a game where I got a goal scored on me from a corner, like straight from the corner.
I remember that.
And I still balled out second half because I don't think about what I did in the past. It's the present that I'm living in. So it doesn't really bother me unless obviously I have to learn from it. But other than that, I'm not.
I remember that. That was your first semi-professional debut, right?
Yes.
There was like 1,000 people watching it in the debut.
Yeah.
It was crazy. On the side, I'm like, because by the way, I was watching that game. I'm like, oh, God, we worked on this 28,500,082 times, and this guy gets scored on from a goal. It was crazy. So look, growing up, which goalkeeper did you watch? Don't say me. Say like an actual good goalkeeper that actually accomplished something that you can talk about.
Fernando Muslera. I mean, I'm a
Muslera.
Galatasaray fan. So obviously there's some bias to that, but he's the reason why I'm a Galatasaray fan. And at the same time, the guy was so consistent. He also had offers from a lot of different clubs in Europe. The guy's very consistent, and he makes it look very simple as well. He doesn't have any flashy saves like other goalkeepers, but he was also the greatest goalkeeper, I think.
Do you know what's crazy? You guys are like the same height, about 6'3". You guys are all you play great with your feet, which is extremely hard for a goalkeeper to find that, And it's also crazy how, like you also said it, like he was playing in Lazio, then he came to Galatasaray. He had a lot of, and he actually, stopped playing here, and then he went to back home country. Any memories with me that you want to talk about? Because I'm asking this question not because we want to express our feelings to you guys. It's because like I want it's not easy what these players are going through. Plus, obviously, what I'm going through, right? So, any memories?
Can I give two? Just
Yeah, of course. Just don't talk about it 25 minutes because I want to keep these guys entertained that we're watching.
One thing, I'll talk about the first time we met. We were right here actually in the same building, and you were like, you greeted my dad, and you were like, oh, how are you doing, sir? And he was like, did you meet my son? And you didn't know I was here. And he was like, oh, that's your son? You went home right as you met me, and you brought me a goalkeeper glove. You were like, these are yours. And then the second one was, I think we were a bit late to training. By the way, before I say this, he is not a cruel coach. It's just like
I'm crazy, but I promise I don't make people suffer. I make people suffer in a good way.
Yeah.
Because I want it for them. This is very important too.
I was late to training, which was I think 6 a.m. I was there around 6:15, and obviously he was mad, which rightfully so. We went. Can I give details? Is that fine?
Okay, give details, but people are gonna think I'm crazy.
No, I mean it's discipline, like I said.
Yeah.
We go.
This is like the European barbarian way.
Yeah.
So do not try this at home. Are you talking about the Home Depot?
Yeah.
Okay, do not try this at home. Do not ever do it because people are gonna really hate and love on me for this. But keep going.
So we go to Home Depot, and Coach Yilmaz is not saying a word to us. I had two other teammates with me, and we're scared, right? We're scared. He buys. How much did the bricks weigh?
No. Ask what I said to the employee when I first walked in.
Where is the cement bricks? Where is the duct tape? And where's the gloves? And we get all of them. We go to a grass field.
It was a two-siders. One is about 27 pounds. So 27 pounds times 2. I don't know what the math why that is. About 54.
We wear the gloves. We are holding the bricks, and he duct tapes it to our hands, and he makes us do conditioning. I mean, it doesn't.
I told him run.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And one thing I remember about that, and now we're actually laughing about it, is crazy because like you're probably never gonna forget that. You slipped and you dropped on your arm, right? Yeah, I remember. And it was and you were trying to kick out the animals out of the field too. And I was like, kick the animals out of the field. But it's crazy because these are memories you're never gonna forget, right? And I would never do anything like that to anybody else. Making you carry bricks like it's like 1925. But the reason why I did that is obviously because of the relationship we had together, but it's because like you had to have a lesson. You have to learn a lesson because it's not like, hey guys, look, and Eddie, you can make a special video on this too. You can be late to me. It's disrespectful. It's fine. Disrespect to my time. Disrespect to yourself. Whatever. But when you're late, for example, you're getting coached under Jose Mourinho. You're getting late. they're not gonna give the same reaction as what I'm gonna give. They're not gonna care. They're gonna tell you to piss off. So I don't want any of my players that I represent going through the same things that I saw my teammates or I did myself as well. So that's also very important. The next thing I wanna talk about is when you doubt yourself, especially as a youngster, because you have a lot of pressure, right? You know, you're currently doing what? When I think about it, I think I only know one other player that did it, but it's not easy, and especially when nobody's watching. What do you do? And what are some couple things that you can also tell to your like 12, 13-year-old self like 4 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, I don't let my past mistakes define my now. And obviously, I have a lot of friends, family, you guys that support me. So doubt really doesn't come to me. Obviously, it messes with everybody's head at some point because it's getting serious for me now as well. I'm getting older and older. Sometimes I might doubt myself, but I'm never gonna let it get into the way of my success because obviously I am talented and I know that. And as much as as long as I put the hard work in, I will succeed.
There you go. So, what is something you want to ask me? I asked the same question to Omar, by the way. What is one question you want to ask me?
Okay, I think a lot of people are wondering this as well, as much as I am. So you were a goalkeeper.
Correct.
And I think I don't know how old you were when you decided to.
I only played 2 years technically pro.
Yeah. It takes a lot of courage to put aside a career that you've been working for ever since you were a kid, and just start something new. What made you make that decision?
So the hardest decision, I was also speaking about this. Somebody else asked me this about. I was speaking at a young entrepreneur event. They said it's not easy to put what you dreamed of on the side, but people don't know. I had two extreme big dreams. I have videos of me, people yelling my name and my Isa and Yilmaz, whatever. These are beautiful things. Kids yelling your name. There's videos on this, and obviously I go back and I watch it sometimes and go like, wow, shoot, And so there's a fact, guys. I wasn't the best soccer player. Yes, in America I was good, whatever. I had an opportunity, I went. Yes, I'm not trying to be extremely humble, but whatever. Number one, I wasn't the best goalkeeper. I knew my capacity, and it's extremely hard to know that too. But the most two important things was, number one, I wanted to be a voice for those innocents that didn't have one with sports. I don't care how with him. Number two, I wanted to make money with soccer. I didn't care how. And it's everybody's dream to make money from football, right? This could be about playing or something else. And obviously, I was like, hey, I know my capacity. And I'm like, I have an opportunity to connect a lot of players to Europe. I can be the pathway. Work internationally, get players from here to here. Plus, be honest with me, you're 16 years old, you're training with a USL championship team. If you, putting humility on the side, if you didn't have the opportunity, how would it be possible, right? What if you're going to walk into the field, they're going to tell you to piss off, right? So, it's finding the right opportunity for the innocent people like you guys, the innocent athletes. This could be innocent athletes, doesn't matter who, finding the right opportunity for you guys that you guys didn't have one, right? So be a dream for you guys. I said this when I was with Omar too. And we opened our academy. We opened another one. We have an online program as well. And we connected a lot of players over to Europe. And thank God, it was very successful. We have a lot of guys on the transfer market that I'm currently connected with as well. That's under my name. That's together with us, which is always a blessing. And I realized helping others rather than just myself is so much more fulfilling, happiness-wise, than just helping myself and make. Because think about it like this. Are you ready? You're playing in Real Madrid, right? I'm telling you, hey, Adil, I have this 21-year-old goalkeeper. Can you sign him for this club? And you're gonna be like, coach, I play for Real Madrid. I cannot call Barcelona to sign a player. It just doesn't work like that. That's why there has to be agents, there has to be coaches and everything. And I always wanted to help a lot. And plus, I think my heart's good, so I think God gave it also financially too. And plus, end of the day, if I could help a little bit, You know, we wouldn't be here and speaking to you guys if we couldn't, right? So did that answer your question?
Yeah.
I try to go around and answer. All right, ready? Next question. Oh yeah, by the way, quote unquote, Ideal did finish high school a year early, so don't think he's not, dropping out, whatever. Oh, if your story became a movie, what would the title be?
Good question. I don't. This is my first time hearing this question, so it's not.
Crazy.
Off the bat, I'd say 33, because first off, I'm also wearing 33, like my coach. I'd say 33 because I feel like it really defines who I am, not just in terms of a number, but I had the opportunity to wear number 33 on my debut, and I didn't take it, and I decided to wear. You know what? I'll make my own story. I'll wear 23. 33 was my coach's number, and then I had another game where the opportunity came again. I had forgotten my shirt at home. I was like, you know what? Let me try 33. I wear it, and that game I performed. And I was like, you know what? I'll keep this number to myself now.
So guys, just so you guys know, I want my players to make the numbers that are not legendary a legendary number. So I want this number, brother. 33. By the way, 33 is a very unique, and I think it's a phenomenal number. Yeah. And there's a lot of you can say behind the story parts we'll talk about it behind it later, but end of the day, it's a low number. I think you can really make a legendary part. When we talk with you more, we're also gonna have an episode like that too. We'll talk about he wears 22. There's a meaning behind that too as well and stuff like that. But it's all beautiful numbers there. I don't think about a legendary player like a legend that wears 33. So I think it's a unique number too, which is good. I mean, look at that. So I'm glad you performed well. So do not take off 33. All right. So next question. 10 years from now, what do you hope you achieved? Let me just ask this. Let me make this question simple. 10 years from now, what do you want to be?
Honestly,
You're going to be 27 years old. Technically, that's still young for a goalkeeper, by the way.
Obviously, I want to be professional. That's the goal.
No. Define that professionalism. Okay. Brother, yeah. I have players that play in the 4th division. Technically, they're in transfer market and they're professional. Yeah. I'm saying, what do you want to be in 10 years?
So, the sky's the like Amara said. I've always said to him, I don't know if I said it to you, to some of my friends, I want to play in the Champions League and hopefully win one. And obviously, it might sound childish still, but to me, it's possible. It's very much possible. There's the opportunities. I'm working hard to get there. I want to be able to play in the Champions League. By that time, hopefully, let's say one Champions League, because obviously playing in the Champions League isn't something that easy either. But 27, hopefully playing in the Champions League, playing for my national team, and providing for my family.
There you go. And also the innocent ones as well. You know what I used to do was I used to open the Champions League music. In the car, I just listened to it. Yeah. The champions, you know what I'm talking about? And I never played in the Champions League, but my dream is to own a club that plays in the Champions League. So my dream was to listen to that music. I didn't care what I did. Yeah. I don't care if I was on the field. I can be an owner of a club. I can be a coach for a club, whatever for a club. What do you think makes you a step ahead than a regular 17-year-old that's currently playing and trying to commit to college, whatever?
First off, being committed is very, very important because you have players that obviously they play ECRL. Yeah, they play ECRL, but at the same time they're also playing, let's say, basketball for their school team or volleyball. Let's say I'm just giving examples. It's good to play other sports. You're active. But I personally, I didn't play anything other than soccer, which I also played basketball, volleyball, all those stuff with my friends in free time. But I was committed to soccer, and I also analyzed, for example, Fernando Muslera. I watched a lot of footage of goalkeepers, and then I trained a lot of basics with you as well. You remember the first time I came here, I didn't have the diving form. Yeah. And then we consistently trained. There's our trainings with you, my training at home, and then my training with the team as well. When you're committed to one singular thing and you're working on that thing from different aspects, I think you'll be one step ahead of everyone.
There you go. There you go. So we got last question for you. Then you're gonna ask me another question.
Okay.
Then after I'm gonna talk about a memory that we had. Then we're gonna finish the podcast.
Sure.
And our next podcast is gonna be you and Omar. We're gonna talk about the World Cup. Because I would have done this with an older guy that has whatever. I want it with you guys because I want to know what you guys think, what the youngsters think. So the question is, if you could relive one day of your life, and this is crazy because I'm asking like you're an 8-year-old, but you're not. But a lot of young guys are gonna watch this, right? What day would it be? You gotta think about this.
I'll probably say my UPSL debut. Obviously.
So you're a semi-professional debut.
Correct.
Because 3 months before that, you were playing like you were gonna go play ECNL, but you were like nope, and then you moved on, right?
So I had actually gotten an offer from an ECNL team.
Don't give the name.
I won't. I had gotten an offer from an ECNL team, and I had called you and told you with my dad. I was like, oh, I got this offer. And you told me to be patient and wait. And I was like, you know what? Coach is telling me to be patient. He knows something. Let me be patient. And then I think 2 weeks later, maybe, I don't know the exact date, I had played a game with the team, the semi-professional team. And then a week later, I made my UPSL debut. And I remember my family was there, my friends were there. And yeah, I conceded what was the score? 3-1. I conceded 3 goals, 2 of them being first half, a free kick. They were both set pieces, which isn't good for a goalkeeper. But I had also made a lot of saves.
29 saves.
Yeah, it was a good game for me, even though I conceded those goals. And it was also kind of giving me a little hint about what my career could be like, putting aside all the friends and family that was there, like chanting for me and stuff. I had fun even when I conceded those 3 goals. And I think that was a very...
Yeah, it's very important how you say, like, I want to open that up. You can have fun with the sport. It doesn't have to be toxic. Okay? What, last question you want to ask me? And after that, I'm going to talk about memory, then we're done.
Another question.
He's diving deep in his heart.
I'm thinking. I want to ask something about being a goalkeeper. I'm thinking. Okay, I want to know.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, because I never asked you this.
You never asked me to.
No.
Oh, he's going to throw that thing. By the way, none of this is scripted,
Yeah.
by the way. It's just full on natural. It's just one recording. When we do when we edit for reels, it's just going to be like, when we talk about like how this guy ran with a concrete. It's just, like fun. So, go ahead.
So, what is the worst moment you had in your career?
This is not debatable.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
How did you let it affect you in your next
The hardest-
game or next week? Let's say next day.
So first of all, I didn't play a lot in Europe. I was only playing in friendly matches because it was crazy because it's so hard to get minutes, like especially going there first year, second year, whatever. The hardest moment of everything was I go there away from family, right? That's important. I lived away from family, but I never had an ocean in between, right? So when I was there, I still remember we were in training. I don't remember if it was Monday or Tuesday training. And then that day we trained that night, We're training and there's so much pressure. Everybody's yelling at you. You're a goalkeeper, right? And I couldn't handle it. And with all of the passings that happened, I popped off. I went behind the goal because the other goalkeeper subbed in because we were playing, I believe, small side, like a 5v5. And goalkeepers working in the back and all the players were working in the back. It was like, whatever. It was like just going around and you go here, you go, whatever. I cried so bad. It was so bad because I just blasted. I will never forget that because that taught me a lot in life. And my goalkeeper coach came. He's a phenomenal guy. I don't know if he wants to send me this video because I didn't ask him. I'm not going to say his name, but he came and was like, yo, man, Yilmaz. And these Portuguese guys speak like this. Hey, Yilmaz. Hey, man, it's okay. Don't forget with these guys, And because there was so much pressure. And I'm like, what am I doing here, bro? Like, I had a beautiful life in America. And I realized, okay, yo, look, you're teaching yourself something hard. And I went through that. And every time you're going to go through that, right? I have experience to offer you. But that's something I'm never going to forget. I blasted out. It was too much pressure. And what's it called? And It was crazy. I played in front of like a few thousand people before, and there was so much less pressure than in training. Was so difficult because you're playing with a guy that plays 15 years pro, and then the guy was just, hey, and you have I know you have experience on this. You pass the ball not to his right but to his left foot. He's gonna be like, what are you doing? And he just yells at you and some of that. But it was just a lot of things. I just cried. And what's the other question you said?
How did you let it affect your next game, for example?
Or like next game, next training. I mean, obviously, right? When I had that relief, it was an actual relief. So after that, it was so much better. It was so much better. All right, last memory I want to talk about together, and then after that, we're gonna move on to our next podcast. It's gonna be about the World Cup. As you can see, I have a memory with you. So one time, so I see you as a very like a brother. How I see my own brother, I see like you. Shout out to my brother. Well, maybe we'll invite him. We'll just talk about funny stories one day, which is me and him. But it was I got so pissed at you one time, so pissed at you, and you actually taught me something in life. So what happened was, I misunderstood something that you did. Don't worry about what it was. It wasn't, by the way, guys. It wasn't something. It was about soccer. And it was you, Omar, another guy. He's not with us anymore. And I yelled the crap out of you guys. And I called the owner of the club that you played. But it was a bit like staged. But I was so pissed. And I didn't let you speak and express your feelings and actually what happened. And I felt so bad because I was the mistaken one, and I was keep pushing my mistake. And after that, you told me you were like, hey, like, respectfully, I'm going to talk about something. I'm like, okay, go ahead. And you start talking about and expressing your feelings, and I realized, okay, like, hey, like, you have to listen to people a lot more, right? Yeah, like, I might be a coach, I might be your agent, I might be like your older brother, but at the end of the day, obviously, there's some things, I'm not perfect, right? We're all here to improve it. And after that, you taught me how to listen. And having employees, and we have tens of employees, we have tens of guys that are under us, we have hundreds of players that we train, that we coach, everything, and you just taught me a lot in that, which is experience. So thank you so much, man. Hey, guys, we're wrapping up family. I think it was a phenomenal. I think this episode is great. I think every episode we're going to have is great. We're having scouts, agents, pro players that are from America that played overseas that came. Hey, wish this guy the best of luck. Keep him in your prayers. Please don't talk negative about him. It's going to affect his energy. Don't comment bad about this guy. Comment bad about me. I don't give a crap, boy. Don't comment bad about this guy. And please, to wrap this up, last thing I'm going to say, do not try. If you're a coach watching this, or if you're an older brother, do not do this to your younger brother. Don't go to Home Depot, buy the brick. Buy the concrete, the cement, whatever. Please do not duct tape it to their hands and make them run until you get bored. Do not do this. Actually, it's not safe. Hey, let's wrap this up.